My name is BrotherBirdStories, and this is my first YouTube video. And I thought that it would be a good idea to tell you a bit about what it is that I do and why I'm starting this channel. Because I'm working towards opening an Etsy store, and I have a specific kind of concept in mind for that, which I want to tell you about. And it has to do with stories, because I love stories. I love other people, their stories, and for as long as I can remember, I've been making my own. I have so many characters whose stories I want to tell, and ever since I can remember, I've had this dream, this need to tell stories in all kinds of different ways. I used to do a lot of theater and dancing. I've made comic books. I've been writing poetry and short stories and long stories, and I've been painting and sketching and drawing and making felt dolls, and I've been recently been making art dolls in clay, and I've been sculpting and stuff like that. I really love dolls because they really are characters in their own stories. And especially also in the BJD community, I feel that is BJDs are ball jointed dolls, which are a specific kind of art doll, and something that I also want to be making in the future. And those dolls really are customizable, so their owners really, like, those dolls are more than just art objects, because they come alive with the love that is put into them, and very much also the stories that go along with these dolls, that people give to these dolls. And that's something that I love very much. I own a few BJDs myself, and I hope to own more in the future. But yeah, so basically I have a lot of hobbies, I guess, and I try to be an artist. You could call me an artist. I try to be one, and I have been struggling with telling my stories. I used to, when I was a kid, it was much more easy. I remember that I would just, I remember that I loved the fairy tale Bluebeard, and one time I got up on stage in front of the whole school when I was, like, I don't know, quite young, and I just told that story because I just loved it so much. And I also made comic books when I was younger, but for some reason, I actually know now why I was not able, but I've been unsuccessful telling stories. I've been unsuccessful in just creating comic books or writing novels, telling all those stories that I have in my head. So for my Etsy store, I've come up with this concept, and my YouTube channel will tie in with that as well. I've decided to I should mention that one of the reasons that I can't just write a novel or something like that is because, I mean, all my stories have main characters, but I can't, for the life of me, I can't just reduce all the other characters to side characters. Like, all the characters in my stories, I love them way too much. They all deserve their own journey, their own, I don't know, their own lives, their own moments to shine. And all my stories, I've been writing a lot for many, many years, but I've never been able to succeed because they've become way too complicated, because I wanted basically 10 main characters in one story, and you can't do that. So yeah. So what I've decided now to do is to make art dolls, to take one character at a time, to turn that character into an art doll, and then to tell their story. But in a form of a small booklet, a physical small little book that tells that character's story, but in different types of art. So not just a novel, not just a comic book, not just, I don't know, but just combining lots of different things. And for that then to kind of be kind of like a, I don't know, a little bubble. It's a little piece of a puzzle, and it's a piece that I want to, what I want to sell that doll then together with that booklet, because the doll, the character, and their story, they belong together. But I want those little books to be strong enough to stand on their own, so I can sell them on their own as well. So they are tiny pieces of art by themselves. And then to go to a next character, create that character in a doll form, maybe multiple dolls of that same character, maybe, you know, also statues or other art pieces, whatever I want to be making in the future. And to also make that small booklet combining different types of art, telling that one story, that you will be reading it as one story, but just told in different types of art. And then if I build on that very slowly, and more characters will be added and more stories will be added, combining those books, they will tell one story. They will create this universe through time and space, and this whole world of what I got in my brain. and to be able to go back to that and to create more dolls that have to do with those stories, and more stuff to build that world up. That is what I really want. And yeah, and to use YouTube as a starting point for that. I want, because these projects, making all these dolls and all these books, it's going to take a lot of time. But I want to start telling my stories, and I have one main story. One of the BJDs that I have, his name is Artricious. I will introduce him to you in another video. I want his story. He's the main character of my main story, the story that ties everything together, that really is the landscape for all the things that I've created and all the things that I want to be creating in the future. Everything comes together within that story. So I want to start sharing that story here on YouTube and start telling that. Plus, I also want to, you know, keep you guys up to date on all my Etsy adventures, and also on Instagram. You can also find me on Instagram under the same name, BrotherBirdStories. I really hope to build on that name in different places, and have it come together in, you know, for one thing, which is telling stories. And so I want to introduce one guy to you, and in case it's necessary, a little warning that doll nudity is coming up right now, because this is Kenny. I don't know how well you can see him, but Kenny is the second art doll I've made. He's made out of clay. He's not done yet, obviously. But what I'm doing right now, why I'm showing him to you, is, of course, to show you this is my style. Of course, he's only the second, so this is the beginning. This is the starting point from where on I'm gonna make art dolls. But I'm working on his story, and he's kind of my tryout for this concept that I have. I'm gonna make it work. I'm determined to make it work, but his story is going to be the first. I've written a lot of poetry. I know that I'll be making another doll, and I will be taking pictures of them, so a section of the story will be told as a comic book, through photo story kind of stuff. I know I will be writing dialogue, I will be making drawings and sketches to go along with it, lots of photos will be added to it. I don't know what else kind of things I will add to, whatever the story needs to be told, I will add to it. And his booklet will be the first, his story is going to be the first. Now Kenny himself I won't be selling because he's too precious to me, but his little friend, the other doll I'll be making, she is going to be that combination. She will come with that booklet of Kenny, his story, because she of course will be in it as well. And I will probably put some art prints in it as well, but that's, you know, that's not, we're not there yet, so I'm just, you know, it's all theory right now. But yeah, so I will also make a video introducing him to you better, to explain the story, what I'm working on, probably read some poetry to you, maybe share some sketches and stuff that I'm working on, to give you a taste of what I'm talking about when I talk about these booklets. with these stories and combined art and stuff like that. And to be very honest, my bigger dream, something that I really dream of for in the future is because through Instagram I've come across so many amazing people who create amazing things, so many artists from everywhere, and to work with other people telling stories, that is my biggest dream. I would love to work with other people. My dream would be to if I could somehow inspire people by stories that I've created, that I'm telling, characters that I've made, things. If I can inspire people to create something and help me tell those stories, so those booklets that I'm making, that they don't have just my ideas and my art in it, but other people, their work as well, other people, their art, that would make it golden. You know, that to me, that would be so special. I would love for that to happen. But that maybe in the future. But right now, I'm focusing on Kenny. I'm focusing on this first thing. So this is a very brief explanation of what BrotherBirdStories is about, what I'm doing, and what I want to set up, what I'm working on setting up. And I want to use this channel to tell you about all those adventures, to tell you about all those stories, to introduce my BJDs to you, to introduce all my characters. And yeah, and if you guys want to come along for the ride, you are more than welcome. If you have anything to say, if you have any questions, anything at all, feel very free to ask and to comment. And like this video if you did, and if you watched this video entirely, I thank you very much. And if you want to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.